He didn't even argue with me.
Yeah,
because she knew it was cold.
So you guys got to see our favorite person who you missed on the show. You saw him over the weekend?
Yes.
Brian Cox?
I saw Brian Cox over the weekend in The Great Society, which really is one of the best acted history lessons I've ever seen. And I see a lot of veterans here today. And boy, it really it really paints the picture of the civil rights movement that was going on here and this horrible war in Vietnam
all at the same
time. And Brian Cox plays LBJ so convincingly that I forgot that he was Brian Cox
from Succession,
and I forgot that he was our dear leader Logan Roy from Succession. And I started believing that I was watching history unfold in front of me. That's how brilliant he is. And you know, Richard Thomas is also in the play. He plays Hubert Humphrey, and you know, Mark did a play with Richard Thomas several years ago, and there were so many actors in this play that we have history with, that we knew. So it was so funny. We went backstage to see Brian Cox, and we wound up staying for like an hour just
talking to everybody, talking
to friends of ours that we haven't seen in a while. And
it was the first time you'd met him.
First time I'd met him.
Because he was magical here, and we sent you the video, and so I'm so glad you got a chance to see him in person. I'm going to see that.
He's dazzling.
Yeah.
He's just dazzling in person, and when you see him live, you know, on stage, you're just I was transported. I was in 1967, and I was watching this fraught, horrible moment in time unfold before my eyes, and wow, he just, even his, I kept saying to Mark, that can't be him, because
he resembles, and he has the mannerisms.
Yes, and he said, it's funnily enough, he said his father passed away when he was 8 years old, but he said, my father bears a resemblance to LBJ. My father looks like LBJ, so I always have this, like, in my mind, connection to him. Yeah, which I found so interesting.
I'll have to go. I don't know when it's running, but I'll have to try and go see it.
Oh yeah, it's I don't know how much longer it's running, but it's at the Vivian Beaumont Theatre at Lincoln Center, and I highly recommend it, because you know, it's a moment of history that we should not forget, and I think that so much happens in our lives that we do forget, and I don't know, like, in the great world of American history, there are chapters that tend to be glossed over, forgotten, or not really taught the way they should be, and this really is.
It was a period just before we were born.
Just before we were born, yeah.
So, well, real quick before we get going,